and Out with Professor Yalman from Radio TED University Ankara Studios. And here we are with our final episode of 2025. And I have a guest today. It's interesting because this guest is sort of a story that my dear friend Erdal Uzunoğlu, who's an expert in networking, in his seminars would give, because I believe he said once, if you say hi to somebody, you will start your networking, and that networking will be mutually beneficial somehow for both of you. And this is what happened yesterday. I was just on my way to class from this Christmas shopping. I wouldn't say, would it be a shopping area? Yeah, it's a shopping area. And I was on my way towards the class, and there were a couple of people, they were playing with their phones and everything. I tried to poke my nose in it, and this woman said, "Are you Semih Yalman?" And I said, "Yes." She goes, "I am following you." I said, "Oh, really?" And I said, "Who are you?" And she said, "I am Zişan." I said, "Oh, nice to meet you. What do you study?" She said, "Well, I am in prep school right now, and I will be studying English teacher."
Yeah, ELT.
ELT. What do you call that? In
English language teacher.
English language teacher program here in this university, but I'm at the prep school. I said, "Oh, great to meet you." I said, "So would you want to come to my class since you're following me?" And she says, "Yeah, you do all these stories on Instagram with skateboards and whatever." And I said, "Well, why don't you come to my class?" And she came to my BA 464 class, where there were brand presentations of our students, and I offered her to be the jury, so she was part of the jury. And then I also said to her, "Why don't you come to my podcast tomorrow?" And she said, "Okay." And her friends were like, they were looking at us with big eyes. Yes, one hello created all this sort of I wouldn't say reaction, but I would say interaction between us. So she's my guest today, the final guest of 2025. Zişan, welcome.
Hello. I'm kind of stressed, by the way. I'm extremely anxious since I've never been on camera and never had to talk like that. By the way, my friends are still shocked. They didn't expect me to be the real jury and stuff like that. And I have class in the afternoon.
Yeah.
And so they kind of find it weird that I came to school on the morning.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. One hello sort of rejuvenates us and sort of breaks our patterns and disrupts our behavior. And all of a sudden we are excited about the day. And that's what my elixir is, if you will, for being in motivation towards life. I do that all the time. For me, rejuvenation is actually the methodology for me to sort of wake up every morning and put these little objectives. I will have my coffee, or I will have my juice, I will go to kickboxing, or I will come to school, or I am going to have my podcast. All these little tiny things make me so excited towards life, and it sort of disrupts my behavior patterns of being in my comfort zone. So I'm not in my comfort zone. I'm always trying to do something for the first time. So I have you as one of my first timers here in this podcast studio. You know why? Because I never had a guest who was in her or his prep years in the school. So I had students from junior, sophomore, senior, whatever, but I never had this person who was just in her or his entry
into university?
Entry process to the university life, I would say. Okay, so welcome, and I'm so excited. I know you wanted to ask me questions, but you know what? Since it's 2025, last program, why don't we sort of talk about how we can prepare ourselves for 2026?
Yeah, making new beginnings, ending some things.
New beginnings, ending things, yes. But in order to do that, we have to sort of, I think, evaluate 2025,
Yeah,
right?
take lessons from what happened this year.
Yeah, you know what? About 2025, you know what they say? It was the snake year. You know, what does the snake does?
In Chinese or something?
I think it was, yeah, I think it was Chinese. The snake year is like, you know, you shed things. You shed your skin, you shed things. And when I look at 2025, I think before trying to sort of put objectives or intentions for 2026, I think we should look at 2025 and say, what are we in appreciation of?
Yeah, that's a great point.
What was the gift of 2025 for you? Good and bad, it doesn't matter. Or every bad thing is also a good thing, so.
They say life is a gift itself, but there's a lot of things in life that can be like real presents, like people we love, maybe having opportunities like this one, for example, or having new experiences. I think new experiences is a like important present that we get every day, even though we don't realize it. Every day is different, you know.
Yeah, true. Because we take it for granted. We wake up, you know, we take it for granted. We have a sip of coffee or water, we take it for granted. And we meet people, we take it for granted. But if, like, you know, if I think over 2025, my biggest gifts were the people I met.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Say that.
I would say that. You know, I met my startup investor and my partner in 2025, you know, who is like behind the entire Start You Up brand journey right now. Or I met very interesting people who said to me, you know, waiting in life is also a virtue. I met people who taught me actually toxic life, how damaging it could be for a person's own journey. I met people who actually opened up certain doors for me and liberated me from certain thinking patterns or evaluation patterns. I met people who showed actually a different side of life to me. And I also re-met the people I know. I mean, that was also interesting for 2025.
Like
How
seeing
how their behavior sort of changes and shifts when things occur, good or bad.
Yeah. Have you shedded yet?
Yeah, I've been shedding since 2016.
Yeah.
You know, it's my, like, I am actually at the end of my shedding period, I would say. It wasn't just 2025 for me shedding my skin, my environment, my behavior patterns, my thinking jargons, I would say. I think it's been the past 9-10 years I was going through that. It's a bit long, you know, but everybody has their own journey of shedding. Some do it in 1 year, some do it in 10 years. And what about you? How was 2025 for you?
Like, there were a lot of new beginnings, like starting university, meeting new people, even though I don't remember most of their names. And sometimes taking things out of my life and being okay with that. I'm just starting my shedding journey, actually. Like, learning to sometimes ignore some stuff and put some things forward in my mind.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a great year for me on that side, I think.
You know, so when you look at the year in the format of a balance sheet, so the equation is good, and you say great. When you look at the year as a cash flow statement, so the fluidity of 2025 was, I think, nice.
Yeah, too many changes.
Yeah, too many changes. But that's good, isn't it? You know, change sort of
I love it.
brings the motivational aspect of development.
Yeah,
You know?
standing still is actually like kind of boring, and takes you back, kind of.
Standing still is so difficult.
Extremely difficult.
Because even in that stillness, there is movement.
In your brain?
Everywhere. And that movement in stillness, and, some people say sometimes, oh, nothing happened today.
No, everything changed, actually.
Actually, so many things happened because maybe nothing happened to you that day as an external indicator, but it happened, a lot of things happened around you, and the frequency and vibration of that is influencing you.
Yeah, especially with social media. You can get on Twitter and learn about things that happened that you didn't even think about.
Yeah, and then you're being influenced by that, even though you're not exposed to it. You're influenced by the energy of that. That's vibration, energy, and frequency. We've been talking about this in this program a lot. But okay, so I want to continue with 2026, but I want to give you an example. I was actually thinking outside before we entered this room. I saw this cartoon. This guy is sitting on the couch, okay? And it says 2025 on one side. And all of a sudden the clock hits, 12 past 1. So he gets up from one end of the couch and sits on the other end of the couch and says 2026. So a number, and putting so many expectations on a number, is that fair?
I don't think so, but getting up is a good thing sometimes. He tried changing something, Some people just stand where they are and act like everything is normal, everything is the same. And people in your life, they change. You gotta change with them. And you gotta expect them to change as well. For them to start doing new things and changing the world.
Actually, you said something very important. I was looking at that cartoon and laughing. He just, changed his position on the seat.
And the
but that's
maybe.
Yes, that's even the change or shift in that perspective of that position is a huge dramatic change. So I think he did something. It looked like he did something very small, but he did something very vast. He's not sitting at the same slot anymore. But 2026, 2025, regardless the number, can we start preparing ourselves for 2026 now? For example, I already started living 2026. Was it a big deal from that 31st of December, that clock strikes and the you have all these explosions around you, fireworks and the sirens and everything, and the entire world celebrates it. But isn't that a shift of number? 5 goes and 6 comes.
I think people nowadays just find things to celebrate since the world is not doing very well. But that's just how our society feels stuff, I think.
Do you celebrate a lot?
If I can, if I find something to, I will celebrate, of course.
So what do you want to celebrate in 2026? What are your objectives or intentions? Do you have any expectations?
Yeah.
Okay.
For example, I don't know, just new things in general, unexpected things maybe?
Unexpected things.
Like this?
Yeah. Oh, surprises.
Yeah.
Unexpected surprises. That's a very nice intention.
Being open to new things in general.
Being open to new things. For the new things to occur to you, you got to be open and, right? Yeah,
even if you don't feel like it.
Even if you don't feel like it. So if you want something new in your life, you got to make the step towards of being open. So when it occurs, you don't reject it.
Yeah.
Yeah? Yeah, I would add that to my list, but I wouldn't add it as an expectation. I would add it as a consent of the universe, of God.
Expectation from yourself, maybe?
I don't have expectations of myself. I don't have any expectations of people either. my journey is flowing, whether I like it or not. My journey is flowing and happening in the destined time that I am given. But I have put a lot of things into its proceeding flow. And these proceeding flows should bring me prosperity in many ways. Energy, health, money, people, expansion, wisdom, So these proceedings, the flow of these proceedings, I want God's or the system's consent for them to flow as per their should journeys, A lot of people say, you are inventing words. Should journey. What is should journey? The way they should.
Yeah.
Should journeys. Whatever. I like.
It's an expectation.
Yeah,
as well,
I like making up sort of thing. It's not an expectation. It's I want the consent of the universe for these to sort of flow.
Yeah.
Um,
Usual things.
I wouldn't say usual. I would say the unusual things that I've started already.
Yeah.
A lot of people say, I am shying away from being usual or common, but you cannot be common or usual because every
What
usual,
is common?
every usual is not usual.
Yeah. Who is usual? Like the most average person? There doesn't exist one.
Yeah, but those definitions. What is average person? Then how can you identify an average person? Are you an average person? No.
I don't think anybody is.
Yeah.
Some people think of
Absolutely.
a white man in their 30s who's working a 9 to 5, but it's not like usual as well. There shouldn't be an usual, actually.
Yeah, 2026, you want surprises? I want also nice surprises. But at the same time, I want fluidity, which brings me prosperity in health, wealth, wisdom, energy, etc. And am I ready for 2026? Yes, I am.
Who is not? Even if you are not ready, it will come either way.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's extremely close.
Do you wake up sometimes and say, I want nice things to happen today?
I don't do that, actually.
Why?
Because I don't think when I wake up.
Uh-huh.
Think of that stuff. And I think we should start doing that. I should start doing that. Like, thinking in general. Not about the day, but about how good things can be.
You know what? When I wake up, I don't think either. I feel.
Like, philosophically.
I feel.
Yeah.
I want to feel the day. I want to feel my coffee. I want to feel my exercise. I want to feel the people that I speak to. I want to feel the energies around me. And I think that's it. That's the biggest miracle,
Feeling?
Yeah, feeling.
Yeah.
To be able to feel. That's going to be, the biggest differentiator between us and the machines.
Yeah. AI and all that other
Yeah.
stuff. Since feelings can't be replicated and can't be forced upon anyone.
And you know who teaches me to feel?
Who?
The best animals.
Yes, my cat especially. Like, they act like humans sometimes, and it kind
They're
of
beyond.
is uncanny.
They're beyond humans.
Yeah.
I think they teach us how to feel and how to give,
Yeah. Without
Which we
expecting
don't-
anything.
which we don't do for each other. For example, you can wake up in the morning and say, I love you to the cat or dog, but there's somebody next to you. You hesitate to say that sentence to that person.
Since they will understand it and think about it.
Or build expectations, or
Yeah.
you will build expectations on you, so pressure yourself by saying that. But why do you refrain of saying I love you? I mean, the animal says I love you to you all the time, and to your
Without you
friend,
realizing.
to your friend, and to the other animal, etc. They can be so generous
Yeah.
in affections. Why do we shy away? Why do we shy away to say I love you to the person who's just next to you
Like you said, expectations.
in that room?
Yeah, they
And-
will build expectations upon that.
And then you turn around and say, I can't love people, but I love my pet or my dog, my cat, my horse, whatever. But if you have the ability in you to love, why don't you express it then? That ability of love exists. So why do you hide it from the person who's next to you? I don't understand this.
Like our opinions and feelings on people change a lot through the day and through like thoughts in general. And I don't think a lot about my cat's emotions. So like or what he thinks about. So it's
So you
easier
feel
to love
safe?
him.
So you
Yeah.
feel safe?
Yeah, it doesn't judge me.
It doesn't matter. Oh, all right. The cat or the dog won't build expectations, so I feel safe
Yeah,
to
actually,
express it to
he
my
builds
cat.
a lot of expectations, but not about my character or not about what I think. He just wants his cuddles and food and pets. It's simple. We need to be simple, I think.
We need to be simple, yes.
in
So for
connection.
2026, that brings me to my last chapter in this episode of 2025 In and Out with Professor Yalman's last episode. In 2026, you know what? My wishes, I want people to be more generous in their sayings of their feelings.
Yeah, to make others feel and to be open to feelings yourself.
Yes.
You gotta say it.
Make other people feel you and that should also heal you.
Yeah, 2025 was the shedding year and 2026 is the new feelings year.
It's the action year.
Yeah.
Yes.
Openness year.
It's the horse year.
Is
It is,
like
yeah.
starting action.
Yeah,
And
action.
starting to
So
feel and say how you feel.
express yourself.
Yeah.
Like Madonna would say. Express yourself. Express yourself. Yeah, express yourself. And your expression will heal you back.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my biggest wish. What is your wish?
I think world peace.
World peace, yes. That's another thing which we need, and we've been needing, I think, since the beginning of humanity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Since everything starts with a war, they say.
But to be in peace, you got to be in one piece with all your varieties.
Yeah, be honest to yourself, be open to yourself,
Yeah.
so you can be open to other things, other people, and the world.
Yes, Zişan.
Yes.
Thank you so much for attending this
you.
episode. And I think it was very fruitful with lots of energetic wishes and generous wishes and a lot of awarenesses, I would say, where we have focused and pinpointed things which are very simple, but we undermine or turn our back. So, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
And
to
Happy New Year
you.
to everybody who's listening to us. And I hope to be with you in the first week of 2026 with a new program of In and Out with Professor Yalman at Radio TED U at University TED Ankara Studios. And thank you for attending. It was great.
Thank
And
you.
I think just before closing 2025, I think you're a wonderful surprise in my life. So thank you very much.
You're a wonderful surprise as well.